Hi everyone, it is Alex with Holistic Movement Pilates. Today I have a reformer workout for you, which is going to be a lot of core and arms. We are going to use a box today for the whole series. I have mine set up on the right side of my reformer, so just a reminder, when I'm lying down, I usually base directions off of that. So if I'm lying down, it's going to be on the right side. I have the front of the box just kind of lined up with my shoulder blocks here. And then the long box is on the floor and it's just butted right up against my reformer. Now, if you do have a reformer that's lower to the floor, technically you don't need to use a box. You can always use like a yoga block. You can use a mat like mine if it folds up, or if it's so low where it doesn't, you don't need to be elevated off the floor. Technically, you can have your hands on the floor for this whole series. Now, if you have a reformer where it's higher off the floor, you can flip your box so that it's not flat, it's flipped, and then you'll get a little more elevation there. We are going to get started with a medium spring on our reformer, and then when you get that medium spring on, I think a medium is pretty good, but if you want it heavier, you can always go heavier than that. Foot bars are fine to stay up, and we're actually gonna go to the box side. So when we get over here by our box, we can sit on the box or we can sit on the floor. Easier to sit on the floor, but if you can't get there, you can just sit on the box. I'm gonna take my feet just out in front of me. I'm gonna end up lying down on my box with my bra line right at the edge, and then I'm gonna lift my hips up. My feet are gonna be on the floor just about hip width away from each other. And then I'm gonna reach right next to me and just grab the strap that's right on the peg. Take it into my left hand first. The long loop is gonna be lighter for your arm. Your short loop is gonna be heavier. So up to you what you're using. Again, I'm right around like my bra line here. Then from here, I'm gonna slide my right hand on top of my left. Hips are lifted. We're keeping a nice tuck of our pelvis. So I'm sending my tailbone to the backs of my knees. And then on an exhale, I'm gonna pull my arms down towards the carriage or down towards my hips. And then I'm gonna inhale to return back up. So again, I'm exhaling to pull my arms down, and then I'm inhaling to return back down. So I'm aiming for like my pubic bone when I come down, and then inhaling to return back up. Exhale down, and then again, inhaling as we return. Keeping that little tuck of the pelvis. Again, I'm sending my tailbone to the backs of my knees, keeping my hips lifted. I'm gonna go for 2 more like this. And then last one, exhale to pull, and then inhale, return. Now from here, we're gonna add in an ab curl. So I'm gonna press my arms down, I'm gonna curl myself back up, and then I'm gonna inhale to return back down. So again, hands are going like right towards my pubic bone as I come up, and then I'm inhaling to return back down. Chin to chest, curl towards our bra lines. Inhale, return. That pelvis stays in the same position the entire time. Okay, I'm gonna do 2 more. And then last one, exhale up and inhale down. Now, once I come down, I'm gonna keep my hands stacked on top of each other. I'm gonna slide my feet though so that they're right next to each other, keeping my hips lifted. I'm gonna lift my right knee up into a tabletop position. Now hold here, head stays down to start. On an exhale, I'm gonna pull my arms across my body so that they're gonna go to the outside of my right leg, and I'm gonna return. And I'm actually gonna change to my long loop for this to make it a little easier. So pulling down towards the right side of the body. So I'm aiming for my right hip, and my left shoulder will kind of come up off of the box when I do that. Exhale, inhale, and I hope you already feel your obliques with taking the arms across the body. Let's do 3. And then last one. Okay, now just like before, we're gonna add in a curl and we're gonna stay in that rotation. So I'm gonna press, curl, rotate towards my right hip, and then I'm gonna inhale, return back down. Again, press, curl, rotate to your right hip. Inhale, return. Again, I hope you can really feel your obliques. Keep your pelvis still, but your shoulders, again, will move. We're gonna go 3. And last one. Okay, once I come back down, I'm gonna relax my right foot. I'm gonna hang that strap back up onto the peg. You can either sit on the floor and come up, or you can like scoot yourself back onto the box and come up. Okay, we're gonna change to a heavy spring now for some push-ups. So one heavy, I'm gonna take off my medium. And then once I get onto that heavy spring, I'm gonna face my box this time. I'm gonna take my left hand to the front left corner of my box, and then I'm gonna take my right hand to the shoulder block here. If you would like this heavier, you can take your left hand a little further forward, which I probably will do after I set up. So I'm gonna start right here. I'm gonna set my right foot back, step my left foot back. We're in a plank. Try to square your shoulders and your hips to the floor. Right elbows out wide to the side. I'm gonna push my carriage out with my right arm, bend wide to come in, push, bend wide. Okay, I do want this heavier, so I'm gonna walk a little further forward. Exhale out, inhale back. Now, if you walked out further forward like me, your carriage might not come all the way home. I'm finishing with my hand like right in line with my armpit and pushing away. Nothing else moves but that right arm. Abs are in. Let's go. 5, 2, and 1. Okay, come all the way back in. Changing springs again, we have to go to a light spring. Take off the heavy, walk around to the other side of your box now. We're gonna do pikes. These are very challenging. If you cannot do them, take off the spring so you have no springs on your reformer. No springs makes this easier. I'm gonna stand to the back right corner of my box. And then once I get here, if you're shorter, you can always walk a little further forward. I'm gonna fold forward. I'm probably gonna have to go further forward actually. I'm gonna fold forward, rotate towards my carriage, take my hands onto my carriage, and I'm gonna walk out to the 2 front corners. I lied, my feet have to go back. Okay, when we are here, shift forward. We're back into a plank. Our shoulders are right over our hands without doing a down dog. So if you look at your screen, this is a down dog by shifting your hips and your shoulders back. I do not want you to do that. Your shoulders have to stay over your hands for pikes. You're gonna move from the hips. So I'm gonna tuck my pelvis, hike my hips, my shoulders don't move, and then I let it go back out again. If this is too challenging, because it is really hard, take off the spring. We'll do 4 more. Exhale, pike, inhale, return. Woo! 2 and 1. Okay, I'm coming down on my carriage on my box, changing back to a medium spring, taking off the light. I'm gonna scoot back now. So I'm kneeling on my box. Hands are on the 2 front corners, knees are back, 4-point kneeling position. Take the shoulder block that's right next to you in your left hand. We're gonna do some tricep extension. So when we pull back, the left elbow needs to stay in your rib cage like my right elbow is doing right now, and we'll just extend the carriage out with the left arm. Bend, extend, bend. So I'm gonna pull my left elbow in. That does pull the carriage out. Now my left elbow stays into my ribs. I exhale to push, inhale, bend, press, bend. If you need it lighter, you can go further forward. If you would like to, you can extend your right leg back and you can hold a little balance. Exhale, inhale. Abs are in. Okay, let's go. 6. 3, 2, 1. Woohoo! Okay, that carriage goes all the way back in. If your knee was up, you can set it down. I'm gonna take my box to the other side. Same thing on the other side. We are already on the correct spring with that medium spring. I'm gonna take my box. Again, the front of the box is gonna line up with like my shoulder blocks here, and it can stay there. It's long and it's up against the carriage. When I get my box down, you can either sit on the floor and lie down, or you can sit on your box and get down. I'm taking my bra line to the box. And I'm just grabbing the short loop. Now, this first one I use the short loop and then I switch to the long loop. Up to you, long loop does make it a little lighter. The right hand is in the strap first and then the left hand is gonna slide on top of it. Your hand should be like right over your chest. In a bridge, my feet are about hip distance away from each other. Sending the tailbone to the backs and knees. On an exhale, I'm gonna pull my arms down again towards my pubic bone and I inhale to return back up. Exhale, pull. And inhale, return. Again, exhale down and inhale up. Keeping my hips up. Engaging my core in my exhales. Okay, let's go 2. And then last one. Okay, now once we come up, we're gonna pause. We're gonna add in our ab curls with this. Hips stay. I'm gonna press my arms down, bring my chin towards my chest, curl to my bra line, and then I'm inhaling to return back down. Exhale, press, curl. Again, inhaling as we return. Keeping our pelvis in the same position the entire time. Okay, I'm gonna do 3 more here. And 1. Okay, and then once I come down, I'm gonna pause. Again, I changed to my long loop for the last one. It makes it a little easier. Right hand is still on the strap, then the left hand slides on top. I'm gonna slide my feet right next to each other, readjust in my bridge if I need to. Left knee, tabletop. Okay, from here, we're gonna pull the hands down to the hips. Make sure your head stays down. Again, the right shoulder can come off the box and then we return. So we're gonna exhale, pull to the left hip, return, pull to the left hip, and return. Exhale and inhale. Again, don't worry so much about your shoulders staying still, but that pelvis does need to stay. And then hopefully we can already feel those left obliques working here. Okay, I'm gonna do 2 more like that. Last one. All right, now we add in our rotation. So we're gonna press down, we're gonna curl and rotate to that left hip. We're gonna inhale, return. Exhale, curl, rotate to that left hip. Inhale, return. Curl up with control, down with control. Feel those left obliques. My hips are staying parallel towards the ceiling. Feeling that right leg really working, hold me up in this bridge. Let's do 2 more. And last one. Woo. Okay. Set your foot down. You can hang that strap up. I'm going to set my booty down and then I'm going to come up. Now, while I'm here, I might as well just change my springs. One heavy, take off that light, or take off the medium spring. We're going to stand up. Again, we're going to go back into push-ups. I'm going to take my right hand. I went about like center-ish of the box. Again, if you go further forward, it's going to be heavier. I'm going to take my left hand onto the shoulder block, step 1 foot back, step the other foot back. I'm going to pull my carriage out so my hands are in line with each other. Okay, hold your planks. The only thing moving is that left arm out, bending wide to come in. Again, if you want it heavier, you can go further down your box. Shoulders, hips are staying parallel to the floor. Abs are in. Exhale out, inhale back. Okay, let's go. 5, 2, and 1. Okay, all the way back in. Light spring. Again, we're going into those pikes. If you've struggled before, take off the spring so you don't have any springs on. Again, I'm gonna stand towards the back left corner of my box. I'm gonna fold, got a tree here. I'm gonna fold forward, take my hands onto my carriage. I'm gonna walk all the way out to the front. Okay, we're at a slight diagonal here with our body. Our shoulders have to stay over our hands. 6 pikes. Again, it's not down dog. You tuck, you pike, you push back out. Again, if you go into more of a down dog where your hips and your shoulders shift back, it is impossible to pull your carriage out. Your shoulders have to stay over your hands. 2 more. And last one. Woo! Okay, I'm coming down, changing back to a medium setting. Take off the yellow spring. We're gonna kneel on our box. We're facing our foot bar facing towards the carriage, and then hands are on the 2 front corners of the box. 4-point kneeling, so shoulders over the hands, hips are right over the knees. Find your neutral spine. I'm gonna take my right hand onto the shoulder block. Again, to start, I'm gonna bring my elbow into my ribs, and that's gonna pull the carriage out. I'm gonna press my arm back and bend, press, bend. Elbow stays into the ribs. If you, my plant's in the way here. If you need, if you want to extend your left leg back, you can extend your left leg back. Abs in. Exhale, press, inhale back. Three more. Last one. Ooh, okay. Go ahead, set your knee down, and then we're gonna sit ourselves off to the sides. Now, the box is gonna go onto our reformer, and then once we get it on our reformer, we're just gonna go into a little stretch. We're gonna stay on this medium spring. I'm gonna walk around to the front of my carriage. Hands are gonna go into the 2 front corners of my box. I'm pushing out. My chest is going down in between my arms. Hold this stretch. Heels are anchored, hips are back. Okay, then I'm gonna round through my spine to come all the way back in. I'm gonna keep my right hand, take my left hand to the right side. I'm gonna push out, find length in the left side of the body here. Okay, rounding to come back in, and then both hands to the left, and then we're gonna push out again. Find length in the right side body. And then round to come back in. Okay, last thing, both hands are gonna go back to each corner. I'm gonna push my carriage out, drop my chest down in between my arms, hold again, chest heavy, heels heavy. Okay, then we're gonna tuck round, come all the way back in, 1 vertebrae at a time. I'm gonna roll my spine all the way up, and then we are all finished with our warm up. We are all finished with our workout. As always, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining me today.